Hi, it's Dr. Cook. I'm here because I want to talk to you a little bit about the next big assignment, which is the pre-concert worksheet. That is due on Monday, April 1st, so you've got all of spring break to work on it, but I would suggest you start thinking about it now. The first and most important thing you need to do is choose what concert you want to attend between now and when all of this is due. So you don't need to attend the concert by April 1st, but you need to know which one you're going to. Ideally, you need to know all of the pieces that they're going to perform. A lot of times this is listed on the website. If it's a Colorado Symphony Orchestra concert or a lot of the other ensembles, they'll list it. For some of the Metro concerts, they will also list those. Otherwise, if you don't know, go ahead and give the venue a call and say, do you know what they're performing? Because you're going to need that information for the worksheet. So, the best thing to do if you're on the website, go to our homepage and click on Assignment Information. And if you go down there, you'll discover there's a whole bunch of things. It includes a preview of the grading rubric, so you know exactly how many points you're getting awarded and for what. And, that's always a good thing to look at no matter what, because then you know exactly where you want to focus those energies and how that's going to play out. It includes very detailed instructions for getting through the worksheet. You can download the worksheet there, or you can download it in the assignment section. Either way, it's identical. There is a list of pre-approved concerts for the spring semester. These are mostly from performing venues around the area. It needs to be classical music, Western classical music. And actually, the first thing I'll say is, sometimes the prices look a little bit, on the steep side. However, they have student discounts. Every venue around here offers a student discount. The Colorado Symphony Orchestra has sometimes offered them as low as $5 per ticket, which is really a fabulous price no matter where you're going. So go ahead, call the box office, ask what's your student discount price, and then you just have to show your Metro ID. So that's good. Now, if even $5, or alternately if you're going to end up paying for parking or something like that to go downtown, then my second option for you is to attend one of the Metro state concerts themselves. Those are all free with your Metro ID, and actually usually parking is free. I think you have to get it like your ticket stamped, or I don't remember quite how that works. There's probably information up on the website again. But that's a good option. So Metro has some choir concerts coming up, some orchestra concerts. We sometimes have visiting artist concerts. Anything like that are good. Please avoid any student recitals. That's not quite what we're looking for. There are some faculty ensembles. Those are good too. So anything like that. Go ahead, send me an email so I can just make sure we're on the same page. I don't want you to put a lot of effort into this and then find out your concert doesn't qualify. But those are the best and easiest examples I would give you to begin with. So check that list of concerts, see what works with your schedule and everything else you have going on in your life. If something's not looking great, send me an email sooner than later so we can start trying to find some alternatives. And in email, I'll try and link you straight to the Metro events page too. That way you can see those concerts coming up. Let's see. Other things that you will need to know on the worksheet. References. It says use a citation style. If you're like, what is a citation style? What that means is, okay, so we ask questions about, what's the background of the piece? So you're going to have to go and Google or, use whatever search function you want to find out, well, how was this piece composed? Was there a reason for it, or did you just like it? All of this information is out there, and we have some resources for you. So you want to do that. Then you need to tell me, where'd you get that information from? Do not copy and paste a web address. That's not how we do it. So preferably if there's an author who wrote the article online, you want to list the author, you want to list the title of the article, the date it was written. And then if it is a web address, you'll want to go ahead and put in the web address and also the date you accessed it, because that's important. Websites come and go, all sorts of things change. And so at least I know if it's a newer one, then it's easier to find. So be sure to do that. There is a sample of the pre-concert worksheet online. You can see that as well, which is a good thing to do. And then one of the other things we ask you to do with the piece that you've chosen to really focus on is include several sentences of music description. So this is another writing assignment in the class where we're asking you to describe the sounds you hear. Be very specific and concrete. The sound got louder when, and try and delineate a time. Please don't be general. Sometimes people go, well, it was quiet at the beginning and it was loud in the middle. It was really loud at the end. And the piece lasted 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, I think we can go into more detail. So try and, talk about second themes or anything like that. This is going to require you to listen to it a number of times. You're not going to be able to listen to this once or twice and then go into detailed music description. I can't listen to a piece I've never heard before and listen to it once or twice and give you detailed music description. Even some of the songs, pop songs that I've been thinking about writing about for the second half of the semester just because I find them interesting, I'm listening to them multiple times and noticing new things every time. So plan to listen to it at least 5 times, maybe even more, maybe more like 10, and think of that even as just putting it on in the background. You're doing some cleaning, you're listening, you're thinking about it, and then when you sit down to write down, you've got a little more familiarity, and you can start to talk about specifics. And then when you get to something, you can say, it is a sort of fairly quiet dynamic. It gets really loud in this section when the horn comes in, or what you think sounds like a trumpet. And again, you don't have to be perfect, but try to be very specific and concrete. So for listening purposes, YouTube is a really fabulous resource for all of this. I found a lot of different music that you can listen to on YouTube. If you get really lucky, you'll find there's an actual performance of it, which is wonderful to watch. The other option that we have is on the Auraria Library website. If you go to their homepage, there's something called Naxos. And I'm going to try and do a little video that shows you how to do it. Basically, you go to the database list, you type in Naxos, and it'll come up. And it streams a lot of this classical music for you. So that's another really easy option to listen to these pieces repeatedly. If you do the YouTube version, be aware usually they only have a first movement and sometimes only a section of it, so make sure you're getting the whole thing. Read the description carefully, and that brings me to my very last point. When we ask you to really focus on one piece to describe, if it's a long piece, like let's say you happen to run into Beethoven Symphony Number 5. Everybody knows this piece, right? Now, you're not going to describe the whole symphony. You're going to describe one movement of that. So, remember, a movement is basically sort of a piece within the piece. Or if you want to think about it in play terms, if you go to a play, most plays have multiple acts. Act 1, Act 2. You're not describing the whole play. You're describing one act, and that's what a movement is. So perhaps you decide you want to describe the second movement of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, which is, much less well known. So be sure to be clear about that, both when you're searching for it online and when you're telling me about your description, so I know exactly which movement you chose to focus on. If you have a one-movement piece, then you're home free. Just describe the piece. As always, I am here for questions. Please send me an email. I will be checking in all spring break, so I'm happy to help.